My husband 24M and I 27F have an open relationship. Turns out, one of his companions is his brother 32M. English isn't my first language, so sorry for any mistakes. Obviously this is a throwaway. Okay, so, this sounds crazy, and I know it. But let me explain. The last 24 hours or so have been pure hell for me and I'm tired, and I cry constantly. As background, we've been married for 5 years, together for 8. Been in an open relationship for 3 years. We're both bi-intimate and I'm more than happy that he can explore that side of him with other men, as I'm able to do the same with women. We have our rules, though. We've agreed that we're gonna tell each other when we hook up with people. So, my husband has an older brother, Marcus, who turned 32 during my absence. They were planning on celebrating together and having fun drinking, which was fine with me. I wished them a happy time and hoped they'd have fun. To the story. A week ago I drove several hours to see my sick mother to Courtrec. I left my husband home as he's working from home and couldn't come with me. Also my mother dislikes him, as he's a foreigner. I texted Marcus to wish him happy birthday, and he didn't reply. I thought he was out drinking and didn't think much of it. But I came back a day earlier yesterday than was planned and I was going to surprise my husband. I entered our house, and I heard noises. Sex noises. I was confused, because my husband hadn't told me that he was going to see someone. I kind of brushed it off, thinking it was just him pleasuring himself and watching porn. All's good. 20-30 minutes later my husband comes downstairs, sees me, and goes pale. I mean, white as a ghost. He stares at me, stammers, and looks guilty. At that point I'm like, there's something up. Not 2 minutes later his brother comes downstairs, and he has a hickey several on his neck. He greets me, stiffly, says that he gotta run back home to his girlfriend. My husband doesn't acknowledge Marcus leaving, when usually they hug, and linger. They're very close. Have always been, ever since I met my husband about 10 years ago. What was that about? I ask my husband. He's very evasive, dodges the question and says that they had a row. I press on the matter, asking what they fought about. Nothing, he tells me, now irritated. I kept pressing and pressing. He finally relents, saying that Marcus cheated on his girlfriend and that the woman he cheated with escaped via window. We have a one-story house, so kind of plausible when they heard my car. I was suspicious, but I assumed that he was lying about the car thing and he'd heard me in the house and alerted his brother and his mistress. Marcus cheating on his girlfriend is not fine with me. His girlfriend is my friend too, and she's amazing, working the front lines of this sucking COVID pandemic. My husband tells me he has to do some work and that he has a client. Which was actually true, so he wasn't lying about that. I was still a bit weirded out by the whole thing. Marcus lives alone, so why was he hooking up with some random woman in our home? Later last night, I feel like something is off. Normally my husband would be very excited that I'm home, and every time I've been somewhere, he's been very romantic and initiated intercourse. Now nothing. He's very quiet, reserved and nervous. When my husband takes a shower, I went after him to wash my face and noticed that he too had hickeys on his chest that he tried to cover up when he saw me. I feel sick to my stomach, and decided to go through his phone. Yeah, I know, I shouldn't have done that. I was 100% sure he had a guy over too. I am still reading the conversations between him and his brother when my husband comes from shower. The conversations are explicit. The reality hit me like a ton of bricks. I ask my husband what's going on, and that why is he flirting with Marcus. He tells me it was a joke. Just joking between brothers. And it sometimes goes too far. I didn't buy it. I went to sleep because I was exhausted from the trip. I was woken in the middle of the night by my husband crying his eyes out in our living room. So I went to ask what was wrong, and he told me everything. How he has a on-off relationship with his brother. They started having intercourse over 10 years ago. First it was mutual masturbation, and then it just escalated into intercourse. He says it was because of their religious upbringing, and that he knew nothing about intercourse or intimacy until we started dating. My husband or Marcus are not in contact with their parents. They had a falling out about 6 years ago, and I was told it was because Marcus was dating original content back then. Well, now I'm thinking they got caught and that's why their parents disowned them. Now I haven't slept since the night and I don't know what to do. I can't look at my husband, and I don't know if I should tell Marcus's girlfriend about all this, or what. I want to leave my husband but at the same time I don't. Should I contact their parents and ask what really happened 6 years ago? Is this something a therapist could handle? Is our relationship salvable? Cheating is not something I'd break up over, but I can't shake the slimy feeling I have. My husband had intercourse with his brother. And yes, They have the same parents, so they're not stepbrothers or anything. Of course, I've been thinking about the relationship my husband and Marcus had when they were younger. Like I said, they have always been very, very close. But I should have seen the red flags. I should have known. Something weird happened just before we started dating, and now I'm thinking it wasn't as innocent as it seemed back then. I'm lost. I'm confused. I don't know what to do. I can't talk about this to my friends. Or my parents. I'm starting to think about killing myself so I wouldn't feel this way. Edit 1-1. I am making one small update now and I'll return sometime tomorrow. A few things has happened now. 2. I asked Marcus's girlfriend to come and see me later today. It's nearly 1 a.m. here currently. She agreed, and said I think I know what's going on. 3. My husband said he's not coming home. He tells me he's at a friend's house, but I know he's not there because I contacted said friend. I'm assuming he's at Marcus's place. I'll contact a therapist first thing Monday. I have written an email and I'll send it early Monday morning. My husband told me a bit more, but he claims it all started from him. I don't believe it. I think he's lying to protect his brother. Marcus left me a voicemail saying that he can explain the situation. He did explain it, telling that it was this one time only, but he didn't know that my husband had already told me that it has been going on over 10 years. It all started when my husband had just turned 13 and come out as bi. I feel very sad and angry. I almost drove to Marcus's house because I wanted to yell at him. For those claiming my husband is gay, it's not true. He came out before anything intimate happened with Marcus. I texted their parents and said I wanted to talk with them and said that something bad happened, but their boys are all right. I'm not all right. I asked a friend to come to her house an hour ago and I show this post to her. She's very angry, and says that we have to get my husband to therapy like some of you kind souls told me. Thank you everyone. I'll answer to your comments when I've rested. I need sleep and food. Now for the comments. Commenter: so your husband was 14? 13? And his brother over 20? That is a huge red flag. 20-somethings are not supposed to have intercourse with 13-year-old kids. No way in hell. Are you your husband sure it has always been consensual? Original poster: I didn't even think about this. I don't know what to think anymore. I agree that the age gap is a huge issue. Well, I think I have to talk with my husband when he comes back home. I don't know where he is. I'm assuming at Marcus's apartment. Commenter: do you have kids? Original poster: we don't have kids, thankfully. I feel stupid for being the most hurt about the lying. I still am not sure if I should tell Marcus's girlfriend. Update: 2.5 months later. First of all, thank you everyone for your comments. Second, I'm sorry this took so long. I have been extremely depressed lately, unable to even go to work. I was laid off, due to COVID, although I know it's because of this situation. Late July, after I posted my original post, I contacted a therapist and got a treatment for my husband. I decided not to file for divorce. I also told Marcus's girlfriend what had happened. She knew already, which was such a betrayal in my opinion. We are no longer friends and I haven't seen Marcus since July. Unfortunately, in the middle of August my husband committed suicide. I am writing this, depressed, lonely and so angry. Law is clear on situations like this. Consensual incest is okay, so there's nothing I can do anymore. My husband died, and his secrets and the truth died with him. There's no evidence that Marcus ever raped him, even though that is what my husband told me. He didn't get a chance to tell his therapist. I'm alone. So alone. All my friends have left me because they think this was somehow my fault. My husband's parents are not happy. I wrote in my previous post that I was thinking my husband and Marcus got caught. They did. Their parents told me as much. I don't know what else to say. Thank you for the kind words and support I got. I wish things had gone differently. Now for the comments. Commenter: holy shit, original poster. I am so sorry. I cannot begin to imagine what you're going through. Please continue to seek therapy if you're not already. You shouldn't have to try to handle this trauma on your own. Commenter: Jesus, what a tragic ending. Such a young boy took his own life. He had so much life ahead. Holy duck, that is so tragic, and whole situation is over everyone's head. You need help. I am very sorry for this. Marcus and your husband had some secrets that won't see a daylight anymore. This is so creepy, tragic and sad. I am very sorry. Update: 3 years later, July 2020. Seems so far away now, after everything. August 2020 is when my husband unfortunately decided to end his life. October 2020 is when I last wrote an update. It's been well over 3 years now, but after all this time, the grief remains. I miss my husband dearly, and I am devastated that he isn't here anymore. I have now moved far away from everyone. I'm living in a different country now. I am happy, I guess. Things could be worse. I'd like to thank everyone who contributed to my initial post. I am now in a better place, for sure, but I still miss my husband every day. His smile, his laughter, his kindness. A lot has happened after my last post. Mainly, Marcus is now dead too. He was drunk, went for a drive and drove himself into a tree. I was, and I am, sort of happy about that. Even though I guess I shouldn't. I have my suspicions that he aimed for a tree on purpose. Can't say for sure, but that's what I think. Anyway, I will never return to this account. Therapy has helped me, but not enough. I am scarred by what happened, and I'd like to spend the rest of my life away from this horrid thing. When I die you'll be able to see my husband again. I hope he's waiting for me on the other side. Once again, thank you everyone. It's time for me to finally move forward.